Today we will talk about human resource planning and recruitment. In the introduction, we need to highlight the ways in which societal trends and events impact employers. Two significant ways are through consumer markets and labor markets. Consumer markets refer to the demand for goods and services. As societal trends and events shape consumer preferences, employers must adapt to meet the changing demands. For example, if there is a growing trend towards eco-friendly products, employers may need to adjust their production processes or develop new offerings to cater to this demand. Labor markets, on the other hand, refer to the supply of people available to work and produce goods and services. Societal trends and events can influence the availability of skilled workers. For instance, advancements in technology may require employers to seek employees with specialized skills in order to remain competitive. The mission of human resources within a company is to gain a competitive advantage by finding the best skilled employees who can meet the company's needs and help achieve its goals. HR strives to attract and retain top talent, as losing skilled employees to competitors can hinder the company's success. One challenge for employers is determining the exact skills required from employees to effectively carry out the work. To address this challenge, companies need to analyze their current workforce's strengths and weaknesses and identify their future needs. This analysis helps them determine if their current workforce is sufficient or if additional hiring is necessary. To ensure the alignment between current employment and future labor needs, companies may implement various strategies. These can include offering temporary contracts, downsizing or laying off workers who are no longer needed, or outsourcing certain tasks to external service providers. Effectively utilizing labor markets for competitive advantage involves three key factors. 1. Understanding the current configuration of human resources. Employers need to have a clear understanding of the skills and capabilities of their current employees. This knowledge helps identify areas of strength and areas that may require improvement. 2. Establishing future goals and needs. Employers must have a clear vision of where they want to be in the future and how their current workforce fits into that vision. This allows them to identify any gaps or discrepancies that need to be addressed. 3. Implementing programs to address discrepancies. Where discrepancies exist between the current and desired workforce, organizations need to develop programs or initiatives to bridge the gap. This may include training and development programs, recruitment efforts, or restructuring teams to meet future needs. By effectively analyzing labor markets and aligning their workforce with future requirements, employers can position themselves competitively and adapt to societal trends and events that impact their industry. To effectively manage labor demands and supply, employers need to engage in forecasting to anticipate potential labor shortages or surpluses. This involves analyzing the current workforce, identifying strengths and weaknesses, and projecting future needs based on business goals and strategic planning. Forecasting labor demands involves estimating the number of employees and the specific skills and competencies required to meet future objectives. This can be done by considering factors such as projected growth, market trends, technological advancements, and changes in consumer demands. By aligning labor demands with the company's long-term vision, employers can set realistic goals and make informed decisions about their workforce. On the other hand, forecasting labor supply involves assessing the availability of skilled workers in the external labor market. This analysis considers factors such as demographic trends, education and training levels, immigration policies, and industry-specific talent pools. By understanding the potential supply of labor, employers can identify potential shortages or surpluses and take proactive measures to address them. Forecasting labor supply and demand can be done using either statistical methods or judgmental methods. Statistical methods rely on historical data and use mathematical models to analyze trends and patterns. These methods are particularly useful for capturing past trends in labor demand within a company. By analyzing historical data, statistical forecasting can provide precise predictions about future labor needs. However, statistical methods may not capture unpredictable factors such as market fluctuations, emerging competitors, or changes in government policies. In such cases, the expertise of human forecasters becomes valuable in providing insights and making subjective judgments. On the other hand, judgmental methods involve the input of experts or individuals with domain knowledge. These methods rely on their subjective assessment and intuition to forecast labor supply and demand. Experts may consider factors such as industry knowledge, market conditions, emerging trends, and qualitative information to make informed predictions. Judgmental methods can be valuable when forecasting in situations that statistical models may not capture accurately or when dealing with uncertain or rapidly changing environments. In personnel forecasting, HR managers aim to predict future labor shortages or surpluses by analyzing both the supply and demand sides of the labor market. They can utilize statistical methods by analyzing historical data related to workforce demographics, turnover rates, and productivity metrics. Statistical forecasting can provide insights into long-term trends and help identify potential gaps in the labor market. However, HR managers may also rely on judgmental methods by seeking input from industry experts, conducting surveys, or engaging in discussions with managers and employees to gather insights about future labor needs. Judgmental methods can help capture qualitative factors that statistical methods may overlook and provide a more holistic view of labor supply and demand. In practice, a combination of both statistical and judgmental methods is often used to enhance the accuracy and reliability of labor forecasting. Statistical methods provide a solid foundation based on historical data, while judgmental methods offer the flexibility to consider subjective factors and expert opinions. Employers can leverage both approaches to make more informed decisions about workforce planning and address future labor needs effectively. Companies do rely on statistical analysis to determine their future employment needs by analyzing data and past results. This approach is often based on historical trends and performance indicators, allowing organizations to make informed decisions about their workforce planning. However, as you mentioned, the emergence of new jobs and rapidly evolving industries can pose challenges for statistical forecasting models. In these cases, relying solely on historical data may not provide accurate predictions for future labor needs. This is where the expertise of professionals and subject matter experts becomes crucial. Experts can provide insights into emerging trends, technological advancements, and industry developments that statistical models might not capture. Moreover, the use of leading indicators can be valuable in forecasting future labor demand. Leading indicators are measurable variables that tend to change before the rest of the economy or a specific data process starts moving in a particular direction. These indicators can help anticipate changes in economic conditions and provide early signals for potential shifts in labor demand. Businesses and policymakers use leading indicators to make strategic decisions and predict how future economic conditions may impact markets and revenue. In the context of labor demand forecasting, leading indicators could include variables such as job postings, job openings, industry growth rates, new business formations, or even macroeconomic indicators like GDP growth or changes in consumer confidence. By monitoring these leading indicators, companies can gain insights into potential labor demand shifts before they fully manifest, allowing them to adapt their workforce planning strategies accordingly. Now, determining labor supply. We need to focus on the importance of transitional matrices in analyzing labor supply and demand within a company. Transitional matrices are essential tools for understanding the movement and distribution of employees across different job categories or states within an organization over time. These matrices provide a comprehensive analysis of each job category, allowing companies to determine the current employment status and future employment needs for each category. By examining transitional matrices, organizations can assess the flow of employees within the company, taking into account factors such as retirements, promotions, transfers, voluntary turnover, and terminations. This analysis helps identify patterns and trends in workforce mobility, allowing companies to anticipate changes in labor supply that may occur in the near future. Using transitional matrices, companies can determine the internal labor supply and ensure that they have the right number of employees with the necessary skills in each job category. This analysis helps prevent labor shortages or surpluses, allowing organizations to align their workforce with the projected labor demand. Furthermore, transitional matrices provide valuable information for designing effective retention and incentive programs. By understanding the turnover rates for different job categories, companies can tailor benefits and incentives to specific categories, aiming to increase employee retention and reduce turnover. Okay. Determining labor surplus or shortage. Companies can face challenges related to either a shortage or surplus of manpower. In the case of a labor shortage, where the company doesn't have enough employees with the necessary skills to meet its needs, it becomes crucial to attract and retain talented individuals. To address this, companies may provide incentives such as competitive salaries, benefits packages, professional development opportunities, flexible work arrangements, or a positive work environment. These incentives can help attract skilled employees and encourage them to stay with the company. On the other hand, if there is a surplus of labor, where the company has more employees than required for its operations, the organization may need to take steps to address this excess. This could involve layoffs, offering voluntary retirement packages, or implementing job rotations or transfers to utilize surplus employees in areas where their skills are needed. The goal is to optimize the allocation of human resources within the organization and reduce any unnecessary labor costs. To effectively manage labor supply and demand, companies need to conduct detailed analyses of their employees and job categories. This analysis should include predicting future needs, considering factors such as potential promotions, retirements, or employee turnover. By understanding these dynamics, companies can anticipate upcoming workforce changes and take proactive measures to address any potential imbalances. In addition to analyzing job categories and predicting future needs, It's also important for companies to identify the necessary skills required for each job. This involves assessing the skills and competencies of current employees, identifying any skill gaps, and developing strategies to address these gaps. This can include implementing training programs, upskilling or reskilling initiatives, or even hiring external talent with the required skills. By accurately assessing labor supply and demand and understanding the necessary skills, companies can make informed decisions and take appropriate actions to ensure they have the right workforce composition to meet their operational needs effectively. The important step in human resource planning is goal setting and strategic planning. This step involves setting specific quantitative goals based on the analysis of labor supply and demand, and these goals serve as benchmarks for measuring the success of any programs aimed at addressing labor shortages or surpluses. The goals that are established should be derived directly from the analysis conducted in the previous stages. They should include specific targets for job categories or skill areas and a clear timetable for achieving the desired results. These goals help focus attention on the problem at hand and provide a framework for guiding the actions and initiatives taken to address labor imbalances. Once the goals are in place, the next critical step is to choose appropriate strategies to address the identified labor shortages or surpluses. There are various strategies available, and the selection should consider factors such as expense, speed of implementation, effectiveness, impact on employees, and the ability to reverse or modify the changes if needed. Companies analyze their specific situation to determine what they require from their workforce and the necessary skills needed to achieve their strategic objectives. Based on this analysis, they can identify the ideal approach to fulfill their labor needs in different time periods, aligning with the company's strategic plan. This may involve considering options such as temporary employment, outsourcing, developing programs to attract skilled employees, or implementing programs to manage employee separations, such as layoffs or early retirement initiatives. The choice of strategy will depend on the unique circumstances and goals of the organization. It's important to carefully evaluate the potential impact and feasibility of each strategy before implementation. Additionally, ongoing monitoring and evaluation of the chosen strategies are necessary to ensure they are effective in addressing the labor imbalances and achieving the desired outcomes. Overall, the goal-setting and strategic planning stage in human resource planning provides a framework for guiding decision-making and actions to address labor shortages or surpluses. It involves setting specific goals based on the analysis, considering various strategies, and selecting the most appropriate approach to achieve the organization's workforce requirements and objectives. This table shows different options for workforce management strategies, their implementation speed, and the associated level of human suffering. The table can be used to compare and evaluate different options for organizational changes based on their speed of implementation and the level of human suffering they cause. Speed refers to how quickly the change can be executed, while human suffering refers to the negative impact on the employee's well-being, morale, and performance. The table can help managers decide which option is most suitable for their situation and goals. Some possible questions and answers based on the table are: what is the fastest and least human suffering option? According to the table, there is no option that is both fast and causes low human suffering. The fastest options are downsizing, pay reductions, demotions, transfers, and work sharing, but they all cause high or moderate human suffering. The options that cause low human suffering are hiring freeze, natural attrition, early retirement, and retraining, but they are all slow in speed. What is the trade-off between speed and human suffering? The trade-off between speed and human suffering is that the faster the option, the more human suffering it causes, and vice versa. This means that managers have to balance the urgency of the change with the impact on the employees. For example, downsizing might be a quick way to reduce costs, but it can also damage the trust, loyalty, and motivation of the remaining employees. On the other hand, retraining might be a way to enhance the skills and adaptability of the employees, but it can also take a long time and require a lot of resources and commitment from both the managers and the employees. Which option is the most sustainable in the long run? The answer to this question might depend on the specific context and goals of the organization, but generally speaking, the options that cause low human suffering might be more sustainable in the long run, as they can foster a positive and productive work environment. The options that cause high or moderate human suffering might have some short-term benefits, but they can also create resentment, dissatisfaction, and turnover among the employees, which can harm the organization's performance and reputation in the long run. This table outlines various strategies a planner can employ to avoid a labor shortage, detailing the speed of implementation and revocability of each option. Options like overtime, hiring temporary employees, and outsourcing are fast but highly revocable. In contrast, retrain transfers, turnover reductions, new external hires, and technological innovation are slower to implement but have varying degrees of revocability. The table can be used to compare and evaluate different options for organizational changes based on their speed of implementation and the revocability of the change. Speed refers to how quickly the change can be executed, while revocability refers to how easily the change can be undone or reversed. The table can help managers decide which option is most suitable for their situation and goals. Some possible questions and answers based on the table are: what is the slowest and most revocable option? According to the table, the option that is the slowest and most revocable is retrain transfers, which means moving employees from one area of the organization to another where they are needed more. Retrain transfers can take a long time to train and adjust the employees to their new roles, but they can also be easily reversed if the situation changes. What is the trade-off between speed and revocability? The trade-off between speed and revocability is that the faster the option, the less revocabilities, and vice versa. This means that managers have to balance the urgency of the change with the flexibility of the change. For example, outsourcing might be a quick way to fill a labor gap, but it can also reduce the control and quality of the work. On the other hand, technological innovation might be a way to improve the efficiency and productivity of the work, but it can also be costly and difficult to modify or replace. Okay, let's talk about the pros and cons of downsizing. Downsizing refers to the planned elimination of a significant number of personnel within an organization with the intention of improving organizational effectiveness and reducing costs. While downsizing can be a viable strategy for cost reduction, it may have negative consequences in the long term. One of the potential drawbacks of downsizing is the reduction of skilled workers. When organizations downsize, they often lose experienced and highly skilled employees who may be difficult to replace. This can lead to a decrease in work performance and productivity, especially if the remaining workforce is unable to handle the workload adequately. For example, In a large store, reducing the number of workers may result in customer needs not being met, leading to lower customer satisfaction. Additionally, downsizing can negatively impact employee motivation, creativity, and innovation. When employees witness layoffs, it can create an atmosphere of uncertainty and fear, which can demotivate them and reduce their willingness to contribute new ideas or take risks. This can hinder the organization's ability to adapt to changes and innovate in the long run. Furthermore, downsizing can prompt employees to start searching for other job opportunities, leading to increased turnover and further loss of valuable talent. Another consequence of downsizing is the potential damage to the company's reputation. Layoffs can create negative publicity and affect how the organization is perceived by both current and potential employees. This can make it challenging to attract top talent in the future, as potential candidates may be wary of joining a company known for layoffs and instability. While downsizing may be necessary in certain situations, such as economic recessions or significant changes in the company's strategic direction, it should be approached with caution. Organizations should carefully consider the potential long-term impacts and explore alternatives to downsizing, such as implementing process improvements, retraining employees, or reallocating resources. It's true that older workers can be more costly for companies due to factors such as higher seniority, medical costs, and pension contributions. Additionally, older workers often occupy higher-paying positions, which can impede the advancement opportunities for younger workers within the organization. To address these issues, companies may utilize buyouts or early retirement programs. Buyouts involve providing high rewards or incentives to stimulate older staff to retire early voluntarily. This approach allows the company to reduce labor costs associated with older workers and create opportunities for younger employees to advance into higher-level positions. Early retirement programs are another strategy used to reduce labor surpluses. By offering these programs, companies encourage older employees to retire earlier than they would under normal circumstances. These programs may involve reducing wages or withdrawing certain powers or responsibilities from older workers to incentivize their retirement. It's important to note that companies cannot force employees into early retirement due to governmental laws. Therefore, voluntary retirement through rewards or incentives is the preferred approach. While an older workforce can bring advantages in terms of experience and stability, it can also pose challenges. These challenges may include reduced adaptability to technological advancements, potential resistance to change, or the need for additional health care support. To effectively manage a labor surplus, companies should consider a comprehensive approach that includes analyzing workforce demographics, assessing skill needs, and implementing strategies to address any imbalances. This may involve a combination of early retirement programs, talent development initiatives, retraining programs, or strategic workforce planning to ensure that the organization has the right mix of skills and experience. Overall, managing the age composition of the workforce requires a thoughtful approach that balances the advantages and challenges associated with older workers. By implementing appropriate strategies, companies can mitigate labor surpluses and create opportunities for both younger and older employees within the organization. Now we have temporary workers and independent contractors. The benefits of hiring temporary employees and outsourcing as effective means of addressing labor shortages and improving operational flexibility. For small companies that may not have the resources to conduct their own testing programs, temporary agencies can provide pre-tested employees. This reduces the company's hiring costs and ensures that they receive employees who have already been assessed for their skills and qualifications. Temporary agencies often provide training to their employees before sending them to employers. This reduces the training costs for the company and facilitates a smoother transition for both the temporary worker and the company. It allows the temporary worker to be productive more quickly, saving time and resources. When new employees, whether temporary or permanent, join a company, they bring fresh perspectives, new ideas, and problem-solving abilities. This can be valuable for the company's growth and innovation, as it introduces different approaches to challenges and encourages a diverse range of thoughts and solutions. Hiring temporary workers also offers flexibility to companies in managing fluctuations in the demand for goods and services. Temporary employees can be brought in during peak periods or when additional resources are needed, and their employment can be adjusted accordingly as demand fluctuates. This flexibility allows companies to respond quickly to changes in consumer demands and optimize their labor supply accordingly. It's worth noting that while temporary employment may have been seen as a leading indicator of permanent hiring in the past, this relationship may have changed in recent times. Employers now appreciate the flexibility provided by temporary workers and the ability to quickly adapt to changing market conditions. Temporary employment has become a strategic choice for companies to align labor supply with fluctuating demand. It is useful to distinguish between temporary workers and independent contractors. Temporary workers are typically employed through large employment agencies and are rented out to the primary employer. This means that the burden of being the employer of record falls on the temporary agency rather than the primary employer. Temporary workers are part of an organization and may have some level of support and benefits from the agency. On the other hand, independent contractors are individuals who enter into written contracts with employers to perform specific tasks for a defined period. They are essentially freelancers and are not affiliated with any particular organization. As independent contractors, they take on the responsibility and burden associated with their employment, including taxes, insurance, and other benefits. In recent years, there has been a significant increase in the use of independent contractors, partly driven by the rise of mobile apps that directly connect employers with workers without intermediaries. Companies like Uber, Instacart, TaskRabbit, and Handy have demonstrated the success of this business model, making it an attractive option for employers. While some individuals may prefer the autonomy and flexibility that come with being an independent contractor, for many workers, this choice is made out of necessity rather than preference. Independent contracting jobs often lack job security, health benefits, and retirement support, and many of these jobs are poorly paid. This can leave workers in a vulnerable position with limited financial stability and few protections typically associated with traditional employment. It is important to recognize the challenges and inequalities that can arise from the increased use of independent contractors. Balancing the benefits of flexibility for employers with the need for fair and equitable treatment of workers is a significant concern in the evolving world of work. Outsourcing and offshoring are two strategies that involve the use of external organizations and moving jobs to other countries. Let's explore these concepts further. Outsourcing refers to the practice of contracting external organizations to perform a range of services on behalf of a company. This can include tasks such as generic lab services or human resource management functions. By outsourcing these services, companies can leverage the expertise and resources of specialized organizations, reduce costs, and focus on their core competencies. Offshoring, on the other hand, is a specific form of outsourcing where jobs or operations are transferred from one country to another. Offshoring is often driven by factors such as cost savings, access to specialized talent, or market expansion opportunities. Companies may choose to offshore certain functions or processes to countries with lower labor costs or specific expertise. The increase in offshoring and outsourcing can be attributed to rapid technological advancements. Technological innovations, particularly in communication and information technology, have made it easier to connect with and coordinate activities across different locations. This has facilitated the globalization of businesses and enabled them to tap into global talent pools and cost efficiencies. However, there can be challenges associated with offshoring and outsourcing. Quality control problems may arise when there is a lack of effective communication, coordination, or oversight between the company and the external service provider. This can result in subpar product or service quality. Security violations can also be a concern when sensitive information or data is shared with external organizations, especially if proper security measures are not in place. Companies must ensure that adequate safeguards are implemented to protect their intellectual property and customer data. Another potential challenge is related to customer service experiences. When customer support or service functions are outsourced or offshored, there can be cultural and language barriers that impact the quality of customer interactions. It is crucial for companies to address these issues and provide appropriate training and support to the external service providers to maintain high levels of customer satisfaction.
Thank you for watching. If you liked this video, please like and subscribe to channel.